statement. I now give the floor to the representative of Tunisia, who will introduce the statement of the Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my pleasure to introduce Tunisia's pre-recorded statement delivered by Mr. Othman Jerandi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, on behalf of His Excellency President Kais Saied, President of the Republic of Tunisia. Mr. President, I am honored to deliver this statement on behalf of the President of the Republic of Tunisia, Mr. Kais Saied, as His Excellency's contribution to the general debate of the 75th session of the United Nations. And I quote, "In the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful, Mr. President of the United Nations General Assembly, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me pleasure to begin by congratulating Mr. Volkan Bozkir and the sisterly Republic of Turkey on Mr. Bozkir's election to preside over the 75th session of the General Assembly. We wish him all the success during his mandate. I would also like to express our great appreciation for Mr. Tijani Mohammed Bandi for his able leadership of the 74th session. I would also like to reiterate our appreciation for the Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, and express our continued support for his initiatives to strengthen the role of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, this session coincides with the 75th anniversary of establishing the United Nations. It is an occasion to review the organization's work and to explore the means to develop it further and to achieve greater effectiveness and flexibility for all of its organs, in order to realize people's aspirations for peace, security, democracy, and development, and to embody the United Nations Charter. The session also coincides with an unusual international situation because of the pandemic COVID-19. The pandemic presents unprecedented challenges and serious impact on international peace and security and on socioeconomic conditions around the globe. The challenges highlight the urgent need for greater international cooperation, solidarity, and more effective multilateralism. We need to collectively and proactively develop people-centered strategies to form the heart of our international efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, I reiterate on this occasion Tunisia's commitment to the UN Charter. We believe in the organization and will continue to contribute to its activities and to the pursuit of its goals. As member of the Security Council, Tunisia continues to actively participate in our collective efforts to consolidate international peace and security. We prioritize preventive diplomacy, political settlements of conflicts and crises, mitigation of humanitarian impact, and supporting all efforts addressing the different challenges that threaten our peoples everywhere. Tunisia also renews its commitment to continue participating in peacekeeping operations around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, settlement of the Palestinian question based on international resolutions, the tenets of the peace process and the Arab Peace Initiative is a priority. It is the main entry point to restore regional and international peace and security. The situation in our sister nation, Libya, is a source of deep concern. We emphasize again that military action and foreign intervention cannot represent a solution to the crisis. Such choices further complicate the crisis, deepen the Libyan people's suffering, and threaten security and stability in Libya and the region. Tunisia once again welcomes the ceasefire agreement in Libya, and we reiterate our firm commitment to assist our brothers and sisters in reaching a political settlement through inclusive Libyan dialogue under the UN-led process. We also call on the international community to uphold its responsibility for the maintenance of security and to seek sustained and comprehensive solutions for conflicts in our region and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has deepened the crises in our African continent. Tunisia is committed to continue working with our African brothers and sisters and international partners in order to achieve sustainable development and overcome the challenges we face together. In this context, we reiterate our support for silencing the guns in Africa. The campaign is a continued effort that needs greater international support in order for the continent to become free of conflict and be able to focus on nation building and development efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, terrorism and violent extremism continue to represent one of the most serious threats against our nations, peoples, and against international peace and security. This scourge is increasing and it is exploiting the ongoing crises and the activities of organized crime. The threat now targets states themselves, their social cohesion, and their efforts for development and democracy. While there has been progress in counterterrorism through national, regional, and international efforts, the threat continues and requires us to coordinate our efforts on all levels. We must intensify cooperation in counterterrorism and counter-extremism in order to protect our societies and our people, and in particular the youth. Thank you for your attention, and may the peace of God be upon you. End of quote. Thank you, Mr. President.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Tunisia for his statement. We have heard the last statement for this